Someone asks if you get lonely, and you lie. You say, sometimes. It's easier than the truth because the truth makes people look at you a little funny. The truth is, you spent the entire weekend alone, and it was one of the best weekends you've had in months. No noise, nobody to answer to, just you, and it was enough. And here's something you've probably felt for years, but never put into words. There are two different reasons a person ends up comfortable alone. One is healthy, one quietly isn't, and from the inside, they feel exactly the same. By the end of this, you'll know which one is yours. Stay with me, because first, I want to be honest about how good this actually is. You are the person who can sit with yourself. Do you know how rare that is? Most people can't be alone in a room for 20 minutes without reaching for their phone like it's oxygen. They need noise. They need someone to text back. The silence makes them itch. You don't. You figured out a long time ago that your own company is enough. You enjoy the things most people only enjoy when someone else is watching. The meal, the walk, the Saturday with nothing planned and nobody to answer to. And here's the part people get wrong about you. Being alone doesn't leave you empty, it fills you up. When most people have nothing to do, their mind gets restless and bored. Yours doesn't. You start thinking, remembering, planning, noticing things, and it's actually good company. Quiet isn't a problem you need to escape. It's where you feel the most like yourself. And people notice. You're the friend who seems steady. The one who isn't blowing up someone's phone at 2 a.m. needing reassurance. The one who can travel alone, eat alone, sit in a theater alone, and not feel like the whole room is staring. There's a quiet kind of power in that, and people feel it even if they can't explain it. You're the calm one, the one who has it together. While everyone else seems to need other people just to feel okay, you don't. Plans fall through and you don't fall apart. If anything, you feel a small, secret relief. And here's something you've probably noticed. You're the one people come to. When a friend is falling apart, you're who they call. You're good in a crisis, steady when other people aren't. But flip that around for a second. When was the last time you were the one falling apart, calling someone late at night, letting them talk you down? You're almost always the helper, almost never the one being helped, and honestly, you prefer it that way. And somewhere along the way, this stopped being something you do. It became who you are, the independent one, the self-sufficient one, the person who doesn't need much. Now here's the first turn, and it's a small one, but it matters. Like I said, there are two versions of this person, and they look exactly the same from the outside. The first one is alone because it genuinely recharges them. They spend a weekend by themselves and come back lighter, warmer, happier to see people. Being alone actually makes them better at being close to others. The second one is alone because, somewhere along the line, being around people started to feel like more work than it was worth. Nothing dramatic happened. It just slowly got easier to stay home, easier to skip it, easier to be the one who's fine either way. And here's the kind part, the part I really want you to hear. Most of you are the first one. You're not hiding from anything. The quiet really does fill you back up, and that's a genuinely good way to be. I'm not here to take that from you, but some of you felt a little something just now. And that's the part worth paying attention to. That's the first one. Here's the second. And it's quieter. Being good at being alone is a skill, and like any skill, you got good at it by practicing. The question nobody asks is what you were practicing for. Think back. Most people who are this comfortable alone didn't start out that way. At some point, being alone wasn't the plan. It was just what was there. A friend moved away. A group slowly drifted apart. A relationship ended. There was a stretch where reaching out felt like too much effort, so you didn't, and you found out you were okay on your own. And you were okay. That's the whole thing. You proved to yourself that you could handle it alone. And once you prove that, something quietly changes. You stop reaching out as much. Because why ask for help with something you already know you can do by yourself? There's a specific moment a lot of you will recognize. You're typing a message to someone. Maybe to ask if they want to hang out. Maybe just to say you were thinking about them. And you get halfway through, and you stop. And you delete it. And you tell yourself you don't want to bother them, or you're tired, or it's late. But the real reason is simpler. You're so used to not needing a reply that asking for one feels like admitting you wanted it. And look, there's a funny version of this too. Someone asks if you want company, you say no, I'm good, and you have a genuinely nice evening, and then around 10 p.m. you feel this small, strange ache that you immediately call tired. You're not tired, you just bumped into the thing you don't like to admit. Or the classic one, someone cancels on you last minute, and your first feeling is relief, this nice little evening handed back to you, and then half a second later there's a second feeling, smaller, that you don't really look at. You know the one, and you know how fast you brush it off. None of this makes you broken, it makes you human, and a very self-reliant kind of human. But it's worth noticing, because the habits you don't pay attention to are the ones that quietly run your life. That's the second turn. Here's the third, and it's the one this whole thing has been building to. The cost of never feeling lonely isn't loneliness. It's quieter than that. The people who love you slowly stop reaching for you, not because they stopped caring, because you taught them you don't need it. You did that, not them. But let me be fair to you here, because this is not a flaw. You didn't do it to be cold. You did it because being self-sufficient kept you safe, and it worked. It really worked. The same thing that makes people stop worrying about you is the thing that got you through every hard time when nobody showed up. That's not a weakness, that's competence. You just got so good at it that you forgot you were allowed to turn it off. So when people see your solitude as something sad, they've got it backwards. You didn't fail at connection. You just got so good on your own that connection became optional. That's a rare kind of strength. Most people never build it. And I'm not going to tell you you're secretly lonely, because for most of you, that's not true. The solitude is real, it's yours, and it's the good kind. So back to the question from the start, which one are you? And the honest answer is that it matters less than you'd think, because you don't have to fix anything. Both versions get the same quiet, peaceful weekends. The only difference is one thing. On the day you actually want someone close, can you let them in, or do you keep them at a safe distance, the way you keep everyone? And here's the good news nobody tells you. Letting one person in doesn't cost you any of this. You don't lose the quiet. You don't lose yourself. You are never someone who needs people to feel whole. You're just someone who could choose them on the rare day you want to, without it ever changing who you are when you're alone. That's not a weakness you have to fix. It just means the choice is always yours. You can open the door whenever you want. You never have to, but you can. And maybe it's worth picturing who that person might be. Maybe it's the friend who keeps inviting you out, even though you usually say no. Maybe it's someone who likes you a little more than you let yourself notice. You don't have to change for them. You just have to leave the door open a crack on the days you want to, instead of quietly closing it the way you always do. So if you've spent years being the strong one who's fine on their own, here's the last thing. There are far more of us than you'd think, quietly standing on the same side of that door. You were never the only one who got this good at being alone. You just never heard anyone else say it out loud.